Hello, my dear children. Welcome to yet another class of English. Today we are going to do verbs again, but this time a different topic. In the previous slides, we have learnt about what are verbs. We have learnt about transitive and intransitive verb, what is a direct object, what is an indirect object, and so on. Today's class is basically focused on the infinitives in verbs and gerunds and participles. So let's begin. Just to recapitulate, we have known what a verb is, that it tells us about someone or something does, an action or a word of being. Next, we have done the different types of verbs. We have done action verb like painting, sneezed, dynamic and static verbs like buys. Statives are which are in your mind like prefers, requires, linking verbs. We have learnt about direct object, which gives you the answer of what. A verb which follows the question what is the direct object, and the object which gives you the answer of for whom, it is the indirect object. This was done in the previous class. You have all known what is a transitive and intransitive verb. Transitive verb are the verb which has an object after it. It can be a direct object or an indirect object, whereas intransitive verb doesn't have any sort of object. Neither they have a direct object nor an indirect object. Now in this class we are going to focus on the non-finite verb. We have also done this before, that what is a finite verb? A finite verb is the main verb and it has a tense, like she walks home. Here we see that the finite verb is walks and the pronoun is she. She walked home. Here we see that how the verb changed. It has changed. Walk is changed to the past tense. And in non-finite verb we will understand that any verb which does not indicate any tense, mood or gender, like do you like fancy going out? Do you fancy going out? I like swimming. Now you see swimming out here is what? It is a verb, of course, but it is not showing any tense. It is just a statement that I like swimming. We enjoyed their singing. Again, singing is verb, but here singing is the act of somebody singing the thing. It is not a doing word here. The doing word here is enjoyed, but singing is acting as a noun here. Infinitives and participles, we are going to differentiate and learn. So basically you have to remember that finite verbs has a tense. Finite verbs, they have a tense, and non-finite verb doesn't have a tense. Now I have also given you a different segregation here of how we can use a finite verb and how we can use a non-finite verb. We have seen that a finite verb can act as a verb wherein they got home very late last night. Finite verbs can act as the main verb of a clause like I live in Germany. Indicate person, number and tense. She was waiting in the room before he came in. Used in present tense and past tense, like you promised me the last ticket. And they can also appear in dependent and independent clauses, like Jean said that he enjoyed painting. And non-finite verbs, on the other hand, they do not act as a verb, like sailing is my favorite sport. So sailing acts as a noun here. Acts as noun, adjectives and adverbs, like the sleeping cat. What sort of a cat? Sleeping cat. Do not indicate person, number or tense. She tiptoed round the house so as not to wake anyone. Are infinitives, gerunds and participles. For example, I struggle to understand. Appear in infinitival, participial and gerund participle clause, like kids like to play on computers. Now we are basically coming to the first part of the segregation in verb, basically the non-finite verb, and that is the infinitive. Now infinitives are of two kinds. So verbs we have segregated into finite and infinite verb, and in non-finite verb we have infinitives. The first segregation is infinitives, and there are two kind of infinitives, to infinitive and bare infinitive. Now to infinitive, see an example is given there. I hope to see you soon. So you see the verb here, see, which is preceded by the word to. So if we add to the verb, it is called as to infinitive. Whereas he can't help you, here you see it is also an infinitive here, help, but it doesn't have the word to before it. So it is a bare infinitive. Bare means something which doesn't have anything, it's empty. Okay, now you see what is basically to infinitive used for. It is used to show the purpose of an action, like it is used to explain why an action is done. To has the same meaning as in order to. So an action plus you put the letter to plus you put any infinitive verb. For example, the students studied very hard to pass the exam. So why did they study hard? Because in order to pass the exam. She is going to go to England to learn English. So her purpose of going to England is to learn English. Now you have to be cautious about when we want to make infinitive clause negative. In other words, the negative form of to, we use not to. So how do we do that? In negative form, he changed his way not to see her. Now to can be used at the beginning of a sentence. To get a passport, firstly you should fill out this form. So if you are putting to infinitive at the start of the sentence, you need to put a comma in between. Now you see how all can infinitives be used to indicate the purpose of an action, like I will lock the door to prevent theft. As a subject of the sentence, like to swim in that sea may be dangerous. As direct object of the sentence, I like to write in exam. So what do I like? Giving the answer of what? To write. As subject complement, his ambition is to fly. What is his ambition? To fly. And his ambition here, it augments the subject here, so it is subject complement. As an adjective, this is the best time to practice. It is the best time for what? To practice. As an adverb also, see, I can't wait to see. After an adjective, it is important to be patient. After a noun or pronoun, object referring to a person, like I invited a friend to attend the ceremony. Used with question word, like do you understand what to do? Okay, now we have learnt about to infinitive. Let's shift to bare infinitives, wherein we do not put the word to. So to is usually omitted when the infinitive is used after several common verbs of permission, command or causation, like make, bid, let, have. The bare infinitive is used where? After modal verbs. Modals like may, should, can, must, etc. For example, you must study hard. Here you see I am using the word study after the modal must, and we do not require to say you must to study hard. This is incorrect. After the verbs let, make, see, hear and feel. Be made, be heard, be seen plus the to infinitive. How? He was made to pay for the damage. Now bare infinitive is also known as zero infinitive, and see the other ways of doing, as I said, after a modal auxiliary verb like may, can, should, would, could, will, shall, like you must get up earlier in the morning. After certain verbs like hear, see, make, let, plus the object. How? He saw her fall from the cliff. After expressions would rather and had better, like I'd rather stay at home than go out tonight. It's cold. The children had better wear their coats. Used with why as well. How? Why wait until tomorrow? Why leave before the end of the match? This is how we have done the infinitives. Like characteristics of the infinitive is that it'll be in the form of noun plus verb or verb plus ing form. Like for bare infinitive, play, and if we change it to to infinitive, it will become to play. For the continuous tense, be playing, it will be to be playing. For perfect tenses, have played, to have played. Perfect continuous, have been playing, to have been playing. And for simple infinitive, bare, I would rather sit at the back, and to infinitive, I would prefer to sit at the back. So keep practicing till you harness your skills.